Hi, I'm Jackie Jackson, and I work here in the office in Orlando with Missionary Ventures. I've been on staff for 10 years, this past November. After college, I worked for AT&T in the Chicago area for 7 years and went on a short-term mission trip to Poland and France for the summer. And God used that trip to redirect my life and to call me into missions. So initially I joined the staff of Campus Crusade and served at their headquarters in California, and then when they moved here to Orlando. Served with Campus Crusade for 14 years. And really the beginning of 1999, I really just started seeking the Lord and praying for clarification, for direction for my ministry. And I really expected Him to come back and say, "You're exactly where I want you." And I felt like, okay, if He does that, I can be content and I can do what He's called me to do. But often God doesn't kind of follow our plans, and instead I really gained a sense pretty quickly that God was saying, no, you're going to continue in ministry, but change is coming to your ministry. Meaning that I would no longer be with Campus Crusade. And I had no idea what direction He was leading. But at that time, I was good friends with Gary and Patsy Hall, and Gary was chairman of the board at Missionary Ventures. And they had been leading teams to Uganda and would come back and talk about what they experienced there. And it really interested me, so I had just mentioned I would love to go on a trip with them if it would work out. Which is a dangerous thing to say with people in missions, because they immediately pulled out their calendar and picked basically the only 2 weeks that summer that I was free. And so summer of August of '99, I went with them on a short-term trip to Uganda. And that was really eye-opening for me and just gave me a much clearer picture of some of the distinctives of Missionary Ventures as far as working alongside indigenous pastors. And Gary once I shared with Gary, I really felt like God was leading me to a different ministry. He said, I really think there's a place for you with Missionary Ventures, and he arranged for me to have an appointment with Steve Beam. I came in and met with Steve and kind of talked about what I'd been doing and my interest, and Steve challenged me to consider joining Missionary Ventures. So I came on board November of 1999 with the intention that initially I would work in the team trip department, because that's really, Steve said that would be the best way to get to know the ministry. And then after I was there for a while, we could kind of look and see kind of where my gifts and abilities and interests were, and make an adjustment as far as my responsibilities. So I worked in team trips for 4 or 5 years before taking on some different responsibilities. But currently, my role here in the office, I oversee the staff in the executive office, which is Glenn's office, and I've also taken on some human resources responsibilities. Also, like our field coordinators, I raise all of my support, and am in the process of needing to take time out of the office to really try and get my support up to the level it needs to be so I can continue serving here in the office full time. One of the things I really enjoy is being able to travel and get to the field and really see firsthand the work that we're doing with indigenous Christian leaders and pastors, and how that so significantly impacts their communities in such an effective way. And that really reinvigorates me and re-excites me for what we're doing here in the office in our support role. Because like with the body of Christ, every part is necessary for us to function effectively. And so it's exciting to see and to be a part of impacting nations for Christ, and having an eternal impact in people's lives.